Mode.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lisa Petrangeli and I will be talking with you about SmartDocs today, specifically for working with proposals, RFPs, and other types of frequently initiated documents off of Microsoft Word templates. So very likely you've come here to learn about how to make your team more efficient, being able to find and use content, being able to produce these types of documents or like documents really quickly and reliably so that you're sure that people are using the most current information, that they're not copy and pasting, they're not spending time searching through old documents, they're not doing all sorts of things that slow the process down. And I hope that you get a chance to learn a little bit about SmartDocs today, see a nice variety of things, and are interested in learning more, and we'll talk about what to do next after we finish our demonstration today. So of course everyone has very similar challenges, I'm sure. You have similar documents that you're creating over and over again, but you might have things that do differ. So you have variations. You have different products that you offer, different services, different clients in different industries, things like that that allow you to reuse content, but you have to have some variation. You have to have flexibility in that content in some way. But you do want to make sure that you're able to find it easily and know what it is that you've found. And so that's really important. You also probably want a way to centralize that so that everyone is pulling from the same place and that someone has some control over that. Someone has the final say of, yes, this is the content you can use, so that you know people are using approved content. There are so many errors that are so common that SmartDocs will eliminate for you. You won't even have to think about them again in a very bulletproof, foolproof way. So you'll see all those types of things today. In short, SmartDocs will transform your Word and SharePoint environment into a very easy point-and-click content reuse and document automation solution. And you'll see all today how very true that is. And if some of you have seen some videos on our website or have actually tried SmartDocs yourself already, you may already have seen some of these things in play. And today you'll see everything is entirely in Word that I do. And what's really important about that from an implementation perspective, and then later for a just training your team, being able to bring in new hires, and just day-to-day usage, you'll see how easy it is to integrate SmartDocs into your work process. You will not be doing unreliable things like copying and pasting, finding and replacing, or searching through old documents. You will be able to, through your Word documents that you use today, work with SmartDocs tools to find what you need, get it in the document the way you want it, do whatever you need to do if you need to customize, and be able to accelerate your timelines, make sure that you are delivering only accurate information to your clients. If you're for internal documents, same thing. You always know that your content is up to date, it's accurate, and everyone is using the same thing. So the quality is improved, productivity is improved, both significantly. One of the things I will also show you today, and this is kind of exciting because we are right now in a beta mode of SmartDocs. So we are releasing a very major product update right now with some really fantastic enhancements and new features and all sorts of great things. And I will be demonstrating for you something that is already in our current version of SmartDocs called Smart Builders. Smart Builders are a document automation tool that allow you to build a question and answer style document automation capability right within your own Word template. So I'm going to be able to show that to you today. Those of you who have seen SmartDocs before have not seen it in this new beta interface. So it's hot off the press, this part of the this part of our beta release. So where this capability existed before, we've greatly improved the experience and made it an even better experience for the end user and for the designer of the Smart Builder. So I'll talk about those today. But this allows you to literally have SmartDocs automatically assemble a document for you. So from our customers' experiences, we have some who have proposal documents, for example, that they would take them days or weeks to create, that they literally now, with the use of Smart Builders, that they create in their own templates right SmartDocs out of the box capabilities, they have reduced their production time of those documents to minutes, not days or weeks, and that is a very real statistic. So as ambiguous as it may sound, it's very, very real. So I'll show you how that's possible. So let's get right into this, and I'm going to drag a document over into this view here. Okay, so a quick tour of what you're seeing. As I mentioned a moment ago, Microsoft Word templates. So best practice, of course, is that you are working with a template, a DOTX file, that you're starting with to generate any new document, especially if you're doing things like proposals in your own template. But sometimes people will, if you may be the recipient of an RFP, or something from a client where you are required to put your own content into their document, and that's fine too. So anything that you see today, keep in mind that when you install SmartDocs on your own computer, everyone installs it on their own system, each individual user, you have a tab at the top and a ribbon here with all of your SmartDocs tools. What's really important to note is that you can, once you do that, you can open any document you have, and SmartDocs is there to use. So even if it is a document coming from an external source, you can still access all of your SmartDocs content, information, whatever you need into that document. So it does not have to be your own document where you get all the benefits of SmartDocs. Of course, we're going to today be working with a new document created off of a proposal template. So our fictitious company today is named Intech Corporation, and we are going to be preparing a proposal response to a request. And that is what you see here, this little templated styles and all sorts of stuff going on in our document here. And we're going to work with this and fill in some information and start to build this document. So what I would like to present to you first is kind of what I would say a more traditional manual approach to creating this proposal. And we'll talk about the document automation side toward the end. And you'll see just how efficient this is from a manual perspective in the sense of when you get started with SmartDocs, this is where you'll begin. You'll start building your information up. You'll start creating tools to use. When you do that in a template, anytime you literally double-click that template name and create a new document, you can see my document is right now document 1. Doesn't even have a name yet. Everything that was in that template comes right along with you into that new document. So every single thing in it, styles, content, formatting, everything is in that new document. So that's the advantage of working with a Word template. So in SmartDocs, as I said, you have all these tools available to you, and anytime you open a document, it's all there to use if you want to. Now I'm opening up a task pane. The SmartDocs task pane contains more information, property information about different SmartDocs elements, as well as some of the same controls that you see up here in your ribbon. The three core elements of SmartDocs are variables, snippets, and conditional tags. So let's quickly define all of these for you. Variables are probably pretty self-explanatory too, and you're probably familiar with something similar. These are some examples of variables here on our cover page. It's waiting for information that is specific to this particular document that we are creating. In this particular case, we haven't filled any information in yet. I just opened this new document. It's waiting for info. Take a look over here at our task pane. Now, the important part about SmartDocs from the perspective of these types of placeholder information is that you have two types of variables. One type is like this, where they will vary depending on the document that we're creating. And you can see a list of these variables are right here. They all have no value. So they have a name of variable, and we haven't given it any values yet. We also have a set of variables up here that do have some values associated with them. These are all values that are associated with our fictitious company, Intech Corporation. So it has information that no matter who uses these variables, we want to make sure that they're using the same information in all the documents, our company's address, our main phone lines, etc. Now all of this information is and can be stored on your central SmartDocs repository. That repository lives inside of SharePoint. The benefits of that are that you can have locked down data so that, again, no matter who uses this company address in a document is using the same information. You can see that variable appears right here. If something has to change about that, let's say we move our main headquarters. If I am the content manager and I'm the content owner, I can go directly into our SmartDocs repository, change this address to be the new address, and anyone who's already using this company address in a document will receive a notification that this information has been updated and can choose to accept it into their document. So SmartDocs communicates to all users any content that has been updated and needs to be synchronized with their documents. These types of variables are going to be waiting for values depending on the specific document output. So let's start filling. So there are different ways you can put in information into your variables. So let's go ahead and just start editing some of these. And these variables may appear throughout your all different places throughout your document. You can edit them in a variety of ways. So let's just say we want a proposal number. We'll just give it a number arbitrarily here. And you'll see as I cursor out of there, it's going to populate this list over here in my task pane. So you can type, some things are allowed to be typed in line here like this. We'll just say, we'll just type some info here. Okay, so you can do them you can update them that way. You can also select a variable from your list and click edit, so you can do them individually this way. So I could go in here and type the name of the company and save it, and SmartDocs will update it here and up here in wherever that variable appears currently in the document. So this is keeping you from having to do things like find and replace. As you'll see in a little bit, when we start bringing content in and inserting reusable content into the document, if these variables already exist in that content, which they should, because you'll want to have variables within your snippet content, if they have variables in them, they'll automatically update to reflect these values you already have. So you will never have an outdated client name in a piece of content. You will never copy and paste the wrong information into your document and then have to do a find and replace and worry about that. Another thing you can do is go into your variable actions and edit all of the variables at once. Now pay attention that SmartDocs is only presenting you with the variable values that you are allowed to edit in the context of a document. We're not allowed to edit these lockdown values, so those don't appear to us that have little locks on them. Those are controlled by whomever is controlling our repository. I'm going to shrink this down and show you an interesting feature. So let's say we have a really long list of variables. I can click this validate button, and it's going to show me all the variables that are still waiting for values. So anything that I haven't given values to yet. And it's kind of it's just a cool new little feature that we have. People had requested this to be able to see which variables still need to have values in them, etc. So we have that little feature. So as you start filling things in, I can put a short version of their name there, for example. It'll take away the little asterisks. Okay, so now those are different ways to edit your variables. You can have pick lists for those. You can create hyperlinks out of your variable values. There are a lot of things you can do with those. It just makes it very clean. You can also bulk update variables across documents if you have a doc set that goes along with any proposal submission, for example. So it's very easy to work with and very bulletproof. Okay, let's move on to snippets and talk a little bit about how that works, how to find content. So reusable snippets by definition are chunks of content that you've decided need to be able to be accessed easily, found, and reused and inserted in your documents. So you're going to centralize their storage by creating a snippet. Snippet can be text, graphics, images, tables, whatever you can select in Word can be a snippet or part of a snippet. They can be as big or as small as you need them to be. So here we have, I've switched over to our snippets pane in our task pane. We have this section here. We have a new section of our document. And I have a section here that I have waiting to insert a company profile. So I'm going to go ahead and do a search in my task pane. There are many, many ways to find your snippets. the most simplistic way is to do a simple task pane keyword search. So I'm going to type in the word company. What SmartDocs is doing is executing a search against all of my snippet libraries for snippets that have the word company associated with the snippet metadata. Snippet metadata is categorical information that is assigned to your snippet content. It helps it become very easy to search for and find. It becomes, it's part of things you will do to set up different automation capabilities later on once you have a library of snippets. In this particular case, the word company actually does appear in all of these snippet names, but it might not always be that way. It might be part of a categorical assignment that was of metadata that's been placed on those snippets when that was created. So here we have our search results. You can see that they're grouped by 2 different SmartDocs repositories. I right now happen to be connected to 4 different repositories in my environment here. When you begin, you may only have 1 repository, and that's fine. Repositories are, again, they reside in SharePoint. They are a series of collections of your snippets, variables, conditional tags, and other types of information that you'll use in SmartDocs. One of the reasons you might have different repositories is if you want to control permissions on the repository level, where some people will have different sets of access permissions than in other areas, or that you just want to be able to organize your content in different ways. And that's something we help you figure out when you're implementing. Let's take a look at our search results. Right now, our snippets are displaying in the order of the most inserted. That means that this specific company overview of the search results for this has been inserted 290 times. This is an actual tally of how many times this snippet has been found and inserted into a document. It's not usage tracking. This isn't telling us where it's being used. It's just saying this is, for lack of a better phrase, the most popularly used snippet in this set of search results. Again, this is something that a lot of our customers, especially in the proposal space, really wanted to be able to see, so they could see which snippets are being used the most by everyone on their team. And it's also helpful to see if snippets come up in search results over and over again that aren't being used. Maybe it's time to eliminate them from the repository because no one's using them, or they need to be reviewed because they're irrelevant or outdated. You can also sort by name, simply, of course. Put them in alphabetical order within the different repositories. You can also sort by different timestamps. This is helpful for when you're conducting reviews or wanting to be able to, maybe you have to go through and approve new snippets that have been added, if that's your role, etc. So there are a lot of different things that you can do with your set of search results. Okay, so we want a company profile. We can see here that there are a few options, and depending on our client industry, maybe we have different variations, as we can see here. So I might want to select one and view it first and see, is this the one that I want? So I can always take a look at a preview of the snippet, and you can see we have some variables in here of our company name will pop in once we insert this snippet. So it's very beneficial, because I don't have to make sure, oh, did I get our company name in there? What if what if I didn't catch that every time, or it's not spelled right, or whatever. So that's a beneficial way to use your variables within your snippets. So I say, yeah, let's go ahead and put that one. So I could drag and drop it in. I can put my cursor in here and select it here and just click insert, whatever I want to do. And SmartDocs will now insert that snippet into our document. As you can see, when your cursor is inside of a snippet, it has some visual characteristics, outline around it, tab at the top with the name. And over in our task pane now, again, because we have it selected in our document, we have some property information down here at the bottom of our task pane telling us from which proposal that snippet came, the version of it. So this is version 6.0, and SmartDocs will always insert the latest version of a snippet anytime you're inserting something new. You always have more options available for anything that you have selected, and you always have property information available. So we could take a look at more things. We could do a bunch of different things with our snippet. Here's more metadata information. I mentioned metadata applies categorical information, plus you have all sorts of other data. All of this is important. It's timestamps about when the snippet was created, the history of it, when it was last modified, where it is stored, all sorts of things that you'll use throughout your time working with SmartDocs. You can always see a version history. As I said, this is version 6.0. There are other versions. You can see when they were last modified. If someone left comments associated with those updates, you can always compare version to version to see a red line using words, track change styles to see what has changed from version to version. You can also track usage. So if there was a usage tracking history for this snippet, which unfortunately there's not, as I said, this is a new beta. I haven't used this environment very much, but you'll be able to see in which documents this particular snippet is being used and tracked. So you have a lot of information. So once something is a snippet, you can track it, you can reuse it, you can do all sorts of things with that to make it very evident what it's for, when it's been used, who should be using it, who's updated it, all sorts of things. So you have tons of information available to you. A couple of other ways to find snippets. Let's take a look at, let's say we wanted to, we did this search. This was our metadata search. So we were searching against the metadata for our snippets. But I'm going to switch this into full text search mode. Full text search mode searches for your keyword through looking within the body content of all of your snippets. So now we're seeing a similar set of search results, meaning similar set of snippets, but now we're getting a little preview of each of the snippets that come up in this search. So now we can take a look at these. It's based on the relevance of the word company, and you can see that right now it is sorted by that, the relevance of the word that we searched by within the content of these snippets. Another way that you can look for your snippet content is to use this browse feature. As I mentioned, I am connected to 4 different repositories. So here the 4 of them are. And what we can do here is use these as, just like we would Windows Explorer, to kind of expand on into our folders. This is exactly how our snippets are stored back in our SmartDocs repository, which again resides in SharePoint. And SmartDocs creates all these folders, puts the snippets in the folders. You never ever have to go into SharePoint to do any of those things. But what it does is allow you then to bring up this browse interaction so that you can find your content this way if you like. So if we go in here, I'm not exactly sure where these are, but I think it's in here. Yep. So we can go into this About Us folder, and here are all of our snippets. And I want to point out that SmartDocs does not do anything proprietary to your snippet content. They are stored as little individual Word documents. It's still Word content. So let's say you implement SmartDocs, and 5 years from now you decide to go to some other tool. Well, it's still just Word content. So your migration is just like migrating out of Word. There's nothing proprietary about it. It will not interfere with whatever you're doing. If you upload a whole series of images, JPEGs, Visio diagrams, whatever, they are stored in their native format. So snippets are not, we don't change anything about the native format of the content that you create snippets out of. And that's, I know, a very important thing. So let's say I wanted to insert this company overview snippet. I can go ahead and insert it, or I can drag it in. Very simple. Okay. There are some more advanced search features. You can browse through here with a little more interface. There are a few different interface options in this browse. You can also do a search. When we searched before, in the task pane search, it will search through all the repositories you're connected to. Well, let's say you have many repositories and thousands of snippets, and you don't want to search through all of them all the time. You can use the advanced search, which allows you to first select which repository you want to search through, and you can search through specific pieces of metadata. So it's a really nice way to work, depending on your overall requirements. A couple other little features. You also can create a list of favorites. This list of favorites is specific to your environment, you as an individual SmartDocs user, which is unique. There's no other thing that is really specific to you from this perspective. So this is kind of nice. You can create a list of your favorite snippets that you use most frequently so that you're always you can pull them into your document. It's still keeping a running tally of the number of times that snippet has been inserted by the entire team. it's still going to show you which snippets are up to date and all sorts of things. So you still have the exact same information. It's not isolating them from the repository in any way, but it's a really nice way to keep the things that you use the most right at your fingertips. Another thing that you can of course insert right from here as well. Another thing that you can do, let's say that you have a lot of images that you put into your proposals and they become very long, and Word can be quirky about that, and Word can slow down when you're trying to scroll through and navigate through Word. You don't have to insert a snippet, the snippet content when you insert the snippet. Instead, if you want to, you can insert, I'm going to choose this organizational chart down here. You can insert a snippet as a link to later be embedded in your document when you're ready to publish the document. So rather than insert the snippet, let's take a look at this organizational chart snippet. Let's view it. So this is what it looks like, this little diagram here. Okay, so let's say I don't want to put this in here because it's an image and I just don't feel like putting all the images in yet. I can go into my actions here and I can do insert linked. So SmartDocs will insert a link to that snippet. Now you see this little embed symbol here. That means that if I wanted to, if I change my mind and said, oh, go ahead, let's just embed it now, I can click that. SmartDocs will insert the snippet's content. We'll see that little diagram in our document. Or I can wait and I can do it later. I can do all of the linked snippets in my document. I can insert them all at once in one operation, or I can do them one at a time, or I don't even have to do it when I go to publish the document later on. When I go into my tools and publish it at the end when I've completed my document, SmartDocs will automatically publish or automatically import all of the snippets and embed them for me. So it's a really nice way to keep your document size small if you do have large documents, hundreds of pages, lots of images. Another thing that can help with is if you do have review cycles and you have a lot of approved content that you don't need reviewers to review, you can insert some of that content as linked snippets so that the reviewers are just focused on anything that is newly written or updated or needs their attention. Then later, when you're ready to finalize the document, you can embed the other snippets that already were approved, and then you can finalize your document. So two primary reasons for having that ability to be able to embed those links instead. Another way you can find snippets, I'm going to skip over conditional text for just a moment and let's go down here. Another way to find snippets is through what we call a Smart Finder. A Smart Finder is a direct link to a pre-filtered list of snippets. So you would embed a Smart Finder into your template, and when you come across a Smart Finder in a document, you simply do what it's telling us to do here. And this, by the way, is just text. This is completely editable by you. You can have it read however you want it to read. But if I double-click here to find client reference snippets, SmartDocs is going to pop up a list of snippets that have already been filtered out for us. So imagine being able to give someone a document template. They open the document, they start going through, they plug in their variable values, they start finding snippets this quickly, and then they even have this. They don't even have to search here. You're telling them, pick something from this list. Okay, great. SmartDocs allows me to pick as many as I want. You can see I have a pick list here. And it will insert them in the order that I select them. So let's say I choose them in this order and select insert. I can view them first if I want to. I can do whatever I need to do, and SmartDocs is now inserting both of those completely formatted, because SmartDocs snippets, your snippets maintain the styles that they were created with, and they will behave the way that you want them to behave. They'll take on the look and feel that they're supposed to, depending on your target document, of course. And there they are. They're already inserted. I've completed this section. I can move on. Here's another one here. So you can see how quickly you can move through a document to be able to just get whatever you need, do what you need to do. You can allow people to select multiple snippets. You can allow it that the Smart Finder remains in the document. As I said, you can have instructional text here. You could say, select 2 staff profiles or whatever you want. This is completely editable. It's very flexible. You can see how simple that is. If you opt, when you embed the Smart Finder, to leave it in, when you go to publish the document, it'll just disappear like it was never there, and any formatting will be restored. So it just allows you a great deal of flexibility, lead writers to existing content. It will always be the most current version of those snippets. If new snippets are added that meet that filter criteria, they will automatically appear anytime that Smart Finder is run, so you don't have to even think about it. Okay, let's talk about conditional text. I'm going to scroll back up here. You might have noticed all these colorful things going on. So conditional text, by definition, allows you to tag content and with the intent of being able to show it when you need it and hide it when you don't. So in this particular case, our company, Intech Corporation, makes a variety of products. And here are the hardware options that we have. So we have conditional tags associated with each of these products. Right now, all of them are showing. Everything is showing. So we have this proposal right now has all of the hardware overview information, some pricing information, shipping information, etc. This color here represents any piece of content that has more than one conditional tag applied to it. You can see in this particular case, 3 tags are applied to the same exact piece of content. That's this default color. Okay, so basically, if I put my cursor in any of these instances, you'll see some property information down here telling us which conditional tag is applied. So you can see here's a list of all the tags that we have available. Here's content that is tagged with these different conditional tags. So it's as easy as opening up your show and hide dialog, and let's say let's hide them all and say, okay, in this one, this customer only wants the media player and the walkie-talkie. Save. So what we're doing is we're only showing those 2 conditional tags. So when we do that, we see that all the others are hidden. We can see they're hidden on this list. They're not deleted, they're just hiding. If we scroll down, we can see everywhere that those 2 tags appear are now showing, and everything else is hidden. This one that has multiple tags showing is set to show because although we have multiple tags applied, we're using OR logic. So that means that as long as one of those tags is set to show, that content will display. If we used AND logic, it would require that all 3 of those tags need to be set to show in order for it to display. So you have a lot of flexibility with conditional text. Conditional text is extremely easy to work with, to use, to apply. Let's just say, for example, if I wanted to select something to apply a conditional tag to, I simply select it. I can select a tag from my list and click apply. I can apply a tag from up here. I have all sorts of different conditional tag actions I can take, but I'll just go ahead and I'll just click apply. So now that is selected. So if I were to now hide that tag, it is now hidden. So it's that easy to work with. It is incredibly flexible. You can conditionalize content within snippets. You can conditionalize, obviously none of this is within the snippet. You can conditionalize any content in your document, conditionalize variables. It can make your snippets very flexible. So if you have variations of your snippet that you want to be able to use, it's perfect for that. You can conditionalize images, obviously tables. This is essentially a table with rows. So you have so much flexibility around how you work with your conditional text, and it can make it so much easier to manage less content, manage fewer document types, and all sorts of different advantages to working with conditional text. So hopefully that makes some sense. Now, we've done a lot of things here. I hope you're starting to get a feel for all of the efficiencies that SmartDocs will get you. I'm going to take this document away for a minute. I'm going to bring another document over that's basically identical. But this one has a couple of additional features in it. This one has Smart Builders in it. Smart Builders, as I mentioned when I was introducing SmartDocs to you, allow you to create a document automation tool directly within your Word templates. So you will be able to create a series of questions and answers that your end users, your proposal writers, your sales team, whomever, will provide answers to. Based on their responses, you will have set up SmartDocs actions to be performed by SmartDocs to assemble the document or portions of the document for you. So what does all of that mean? In this document, let's take a look at our content map first. I'm going to open this up. The content map is kind of a nice way to, you're probably used to seeing Word navigation pane, which is organized by your headers and sections and whatnot. So this is the same thing, except this is going to show you all of your SmartDocs stuff. So let's go ahead and we'll just expand to all. So you can see all of your conditional tags here in this document. We have only a couple of snippets in here right now. This is a new blank document based on the one we were just looking at. We have all these conditional tag instances too. So in this particular case, we can see our whole document. We even have a Smart Finder down here, right? This is what we just executed down there. So it shows you all different things in your document. So it's kind of a nice way to get an overview of which portions of the document still need work. Obviously, nothing's happened really yet. There are no snippets have been inserted in most of this document, so you know it still needs some stuff done. So I just wanted to show you how that content map looks. Now I'm going to close that for now. We'll open it back up after we've done some work in this document. What I want to show you are Smart Builders. In this document, we have right now 3 little Smart Builders. So remember how we filled in some of this information about our RFP and what we were doing. And we also selected the conditional tags to show and hide for being able to, for what we ever wanted to display for this particular client. And we did references and things like that. So what you can do instead of your writers having to even know how to work with these tools and have to go into here, they don't even have to do that. I can go into these. These are my little Smart Builders. So I've broken them up. You can have one master Smart Builder. You can have multiple Smart Builders. You can embed them in the document at different places, just like those Smart Finders look. You can do a variety of things. We're going to run these from this ribbon for right now. So let's say the first thing I want to do is this proposal summary information. So I'm going to pop this open. This is going to open up in basically what the task pane looked like. So I'm just going to give this some information, and I'll put my information in here. Now I just want to give you a side note. Yes, you can integrate your CRM data to be pulled into here automatically. Yes, that can happen. Yes, you can also use, if you do maintain data in an Excel spreadsheet, for example, you can do that. So you don't have to have, I'm just using these as manual entry for the sake of demonstrating, but you absolutely can have some information pulled in automatically, of course. So we'll say this is, now we're answering questions about our client's company. So I'm just go ahead and pop some of this information in. What's our company's industry? We have a drop-down list here. Now, keeping in mind that all of these questions are 100% customized. You're going to create the questions. You're going to create, how are they answering them? Are they going to type something in? Are they going to get a drop-down list? Are they going to get a pick list? Are they going to get a yes/no button? Are they going to get, you can have logic associated with these. So depending on one answer, I might get a different question as the next question, etc. It's extremely sophisticated, but extremely easy. We'll just give this some info. Okay, now we're gonna, this one is simple, just 2 screens, and I'm gonna execute the Smart Builder. So what's SmartDocs doing? We'll take a look. One thing it did was it inserted this snippet. Okay, Smart Builder is complete. It took my answers, associated the actions that were set up for it. One thing it did was insert this snippet based on me having chosen government as my client's industry. So the company profile for government. It also populated a lot of the variables that I had provided information for. So it had asked me for certain information, and that's what I provided, and that's what it gave me. If I wanted to now, I can go ahead and choose, let's go ahead and run this hardware one. So if you remember, I did a show and hide. Let's say, okay, which hardware do we want to include? I'm going to include, let's include smartphone and media player this time. Execute. So what SmartDocs is doing is running their Smart Finder, or I'm sorry, our Smart Builder. Let's check it out. And those are the only 2 now that are set to show. So you can have your Smart Builder be anything you want it to be, as many questions as you want. You could ask one question and have 50 associated actions. So SmartDocs essentially can automatically build your document for you out of your existing content, out of all the different SmartDocs features and building blocks that you have. I'm going to follow up and make sure that all of you have a video of smart builders in the work, so you can see how they work, see how efficient they can really be, because they're really fantastic and they allow you to dramatically reduce the amount of time it takes to put a document together. And in the end, it might be that your document is 50% done and now you do some customization. It might be that it's 100% done and you publish it and send it on its way. So depending on what your needs are, and maybe phase one is you're populating variable values, you're inserting specific snippets, and then you do the rest of it. Maybe later on you're getting 100% of your document completed with just one single Smart Builder. And we have many customers who are doing just that and have been able to do far more proposal creations with the same number of employees that they have, without having to hire more people to do that. They've been able to vastly improve the number of proposals they can get out, and the speed at which that they can do that. And of course, they're far more reliable from an information perspective. They don't even have to worry that they're getting accurate information in there. They know what everyone's using, and they know that it's the current information that they're supposed to be using. So hopefully you got to see everything that you need to see to really pique your interest. I would love for you to request a trial if you haven't worked with one yet, and ask questions. I will follow up, and like I said, with everybody, and make sure that you have some more information about smart builders and getting started with SmartDocs. But you really will save so much time. It's very affordable. We just were at the APM Bid and Proposal Con conference for proposal writers, and there are no other tools that are as efficient and easy to implement as SmartDocs on the market. It's just simply, there just aren't. A lot of them require an outside consultant, an external IT professional to be able to implement and set up some of these sophisticated tools. You won't need that with SmartDocs. Everything you just saw today, you will easily be able to do yourselves. So you will see immediate benefits from the second you create your first snippet. Anyone who has access will be able to use it. It's quick, it's easy, and it is very, very efficient. So I really encourage you to request a 14-day trial if you haven't worked with one yet. If you have others on your team who need to check out SmartDocs, share a pre-recorded demo. I did record today's session, so if you're interested in this recording, let me know, because we don't have this one posted yet. Or a webinar from the past, let me know if you're interested in something specific. There are lots of feature videos on our website. As I mentioned, we're in transition from an existing version of SmartDocs to an update. What you saw today was a beta, so some things are transitioning over. If there's something specific you want to see more about, let me know so I can get you the right thing. But I'd really like to hear what you're trying to solve, what brought you here today. And if you saw what you were looking for and want to know more about that, I'd love to hear it. We can give you a very simple, accurate quote. On our website is all of our pricing. All new customers will purchase licenses for all SmartDocs users and a training package. So check out our website for pricing. We have different editions for different types of users. What you saw today is Professional Edition, includes everything. And then there's an Express Edition, which is for what we would call that content consumer. If my job is to start a new document, execute a smart builder, or just populate a new document with content, I probably only need Express. So take a look at those. You'll see a license comparison, how our training works, and I think it'll be very, very clear. No hidden costs. All support and maintenance are included in your license cost. So I'd love to hear from you. Again, my name is Lisa, but feel free to write us, and someone will get in touch with you. I'd love to help you get started and share with you how easy it is to implement SmartDocs and how quickly it is to really, really see benefit from day one. Thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to speaking with you all. Bye-bye.